Well, happy holidays and let's talk love. Today we are talking about a week that has been a week of reconciling, making peace and looking for love again after what has been a turbulent campaign period between President Kenyatta, President Ruto and some of the other people on the other side. And this weekend we saw him shaking hands and making up with Francis Atwoli. And today I'm with Professor Herman Manyora, who is going to answer the question to me. Is it that every time we have had an election and the rifts that exist in Kenya has been exposed, it takes two people shaking hands for us to go back to loving each other, our neighbors? Is that the cycle?
It is becoming our practice. It's
a vicious cycle.
A bit of our political culture.
Is it a good thing?
Not vicious, no. It's just that sometimes we are nearly losing it. And when that happens, sometimes we think we can do it better. We get together, we shake hands and proceed. If you look back, like 2007, 2008, we almost lost it.
We did?
We almost lost it.
But we found our way back.
Through a handshake.
Is it a unique Kenyan problem?
No, it's not a unique Kenyan problem. The problem is universal. That the election produce challenges and rifts and all manner of things. But the Kenyan way of resolving it through handshakers is recognized all over.
But from what I read from it is Kenya is still strongly divided on tribal lines when it comes to our politics, and these tribes are still, built around central figures, central king-like figures.
Yeah, that's true.
Is that what it is? Is that what Atwoli and Ruto represent today?
They represent, there are strong forces within their communities.
Yes.
Yeah.
And those settings, those traditional African settings of, say, the Kalenjin people, the Luo people, the Kikuyu people, do they curtail the progress of the love we are trying to build in a nation called Kenya, where there is no tribe, where there is no border?
That will be ideal, but politicians are opportunists.
They are.
Yeah. I'm not so sure they are doing it for love.
But
if there's any love involved, the love for their stomachs, and love for money, and love for positions.
But millions of young people who saw that gesture in Western Kenya felt like, all right, now I can forgive these people.
Yeah, that's good. It's a very good gesture. It's symbolic. It shows if Ruto can shake Atwoli's hand, then we are on the right path.
And it's always boils down to love, Prof. And I'm asking, as a people, if you're my neighbor, if I am from, say, Mount Kenya, not, and we've been neighbors all this time, does it take an outsider for me to decide now I see Manyora beyond this tribe? Is it that our love is that superficial? It's only political?
Let me tell you this. I've lived in the villages, and I can tell you without any doubt that the ordinary Kenyan does not know tribe.
Really?
Yeah.
Tell me about it.
I'm a villager myself. I've lived in those villages, Kambi. And my sister's kids have Kikuyu names, Mudhoni, Mbudhia, and stuff like that. I've seen Kikuyus interacting with Luos and Luyas and Turkana in Tarbo, where I grew up. Forest workers, people who work in the forest.
Yeah.
And environment, they call what Minister of Environment and Natural Resources those days. Those who planted those trees you see in Kaptak Batel, Dore, Tarbo. My father was one of them, and there's no tribalism.
Where does the narrative come from then, every election time?
People in Kibra stay with all tribes, Kikuyu, Kalenjin, Luya, Luo, what they are.
Is it that the media exaggerates that idea?
It is also want power.
Right.
When people want power, they then militarize the tribe.
They bring it from under the closet?
But people love each other.
All right.
Kenyans have love for each other, regardless of the tribe. But the leaders want to harness the tribe for political purpose. So they militarize it. They make you see a Kikuyu as an enemy just because you are a Luo. And you sort of believe it. But it's always for short periods.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And Prof, let me engage you in some sort of extended geopolitics. We are in a place where most of our neighbors were either occupied by Britain or some of those European powers that gave us our civilization and eventually our independence.
Let's withdraw the word give us civilization. They brought Western civilization.
Yes, their civilization. Thank you. And looking at Kenya, would you say that in all the countries around us, because most of the countries in East Africa, in Africa essentially, are made up of tribes that were before not, would you say Kenya has done a better job compared to, say, Uganda, Tanzania?
In terms of?
In terms of coalescing the tribes and building a nation out of many tribes? Would you say we've done a better job?
Nationhood is not an easy thing.
It's not.
We haven't achieved nationhood, but at least we coexist.
But you're looking at what's happening in Sudan, for example?
Our problems are not deep.
Not as deep as the neighbors?
They are toe deep. They are not even knee deep. They are not even ankle deep. Our problems are just, they don't even go to the ankle there. They are just down there, toe deep.
Then we can't solve them.
Places Sudan, and it's not a question of tribe or race, for example. It's not Arab versus black.
No?
Versus Africa. It's bigger than that. It's not just religion. It's not Arab North and Christian, or they call it atheist or whatever names they give the pagan South. Not that. It's deeper. It is historical challenges that then find expression in tribe or religion.
So
But
this is
for
just
us-
an expression
For
way
us,
of...
there is nothing a Kikuyu has against a Luo.
Oh,
Nothing, absolutely not. That's why Kikuyu girls are being married by Luos.
it's no hatred
Luos are
there.
bringing Kikuyu girls, and nobody ever finds it anything. Even there are countries where if you walked with a girl from a certain community or a certain religion and you introduce them, they will curse you.
It's a problem.
They will even shoot you in some places. Your own people will disown you. We don't have that thing. So there's no problem. Kenyans love each other.
But
It's
why...
the politicians who exploit tribe
All right.
when they are looking for votes or when there are things to be shared, power and other things.
Why can't we overcome that? Why can't we successfully then, Prof, communicate to future generations that we don't really have a tribe?
We are doing so. We are trying. We are not where we have been. We are not where we were.
It's working?
Certainly, we need to do a lot more. You walk around Nairobi, the weekend of weddings, you'll be shocked at how many mixed tribe weddings we have in Nairobi.
Something
we
you-
are becoming the majority, actually.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And it's a good
Just walk to
direction.
any church at random. Say this Saturday, like it will be next Saturday. Is it next Saturday? Yeah? End month.
Yeah.
Or the other one. There's always a weekend for weddings, you know it.
In
Yeah?
Marias, yeah.
When you see those limousines,
Local churches.
just make it a point. If you have 5 people, divide yourself.
Go and check.
You go and go on churches, let him go another place, then meet and say, how many churches do you visit? I visited 5. How many are cross-tribal? Tell you 3. Huh? And you? 4 out of 5.
I think I'll
7
try.
out of 10. There was a Kikuyu marrying a Luo, a Kalenjin marrying a Taita. So that's one way of doing it. Other ways is Kenyans are becoming more enlightened. And I know the politicians are just lying to us. And then, but what will bring people together is the pain we are all going through. And we know this pain is caused by bad policies. It's brought by greed of our leaders who steal every penny around us. So we know the problems we have. You can squarely place them at the feet of our leaders. And hunger does not know. There's no Luo hunger and Kikuyu hunger.
Hunger is hunger for sure.
Njaa ikikuchapa, haikuna njaa inakuja style ya Kijaluo na ingine inakuja style ya Kalenjin.
Hakuna.
Njaa ni njaa tu. Sasa we are hungry because our leaders are making us hungry. They have stolen our money. And they are coming with bad policies. And they are greedy. So now that's what will end tribalism.
Yeah?
Yes.
But we keep voting these people in and recycling them and giving them their jobs back.
But it's not what it has been. A bit of root of success can be attributed to what we are saying here.
Yeah? People getting tired of...
People going beyond tribe and seeing that they are sufferers, they are hustlers because of Uhuru. So that even the Kikuyu hustler ignored Uhuru's advice and voted for Ruto.
So the voting demographic was
It didn't
different.
go deep enough the way Ruto wanted. Ruto was telling me and they wanted me to believe that even the Luo hustler will vote for Ruto. That we didn't get that far.
No.
But we must admit, it went even beyond my imagination myself. I didn't imagine it could go that far, but it went far. Who knows by next election and the other election? It is a pain that people are going through that will end tribalism in Kenya.
Such a nice way to end it. Who knows indeed? There's a popular Chinese saying that says, a journey of 1,000 steps starts with one. That's the discussion we've had with Prof today here on Let's Talk Love. Happy holidays.
One heart, let's get together and feel alright. Hear the children